A do 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 do. A do 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 do. I can make the world come true. I will go.
Dreams to see me through. Doesn't matter
Doesn't matter
what
what
come
comes
my
my
way.
way. Believe
Believe
me
me
now,
now, I will
I'll win someday.
Now that was a beautiful rendition that I'm sure everyone appreciated. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Forecast, the show where we recast iconic characters, basically, TV shows, films, whatever we like. And this week we are recasting, well, actually, we're aging up Tracy Beaker. I love it. So we wanted to do this one because obviously My Mum Tracy Beaker came out last week and we've both watched it.
I loved it.
I loved
It's
it
so
too.
good.
It is. And I think it's it got me right in the nostalgia, to be honest. And if you're going in wanting it to be perfect, it isn't gonna be.
No.
But
If your
it's pretty close.
expectations are low, you're
It's
going to be
great.
happy.
Yeah. And I don't mean that in the bad way. I think it literally is. It's made for kids still.
Yeah.
And it's made so that if you have never watched Tracy Beaker, as you probably wouldn't have if you're like the age they're targeting, then you'll still love it because it's great. There is going to be probably some spoilers in here for My Mum Tracy Beaker, so if you're worried about that,
spoiler alert for little Tracy Beaker. It's a little bit of a Tory, but other than that little part.
Do you know, I thought the way she played her character was very much like a young Tracy Beaker.
I get what you mean, but also she just whined the whole time and there wasn't like that attitude and bog off and all that.
Yeah, I did want her to say bog off and she never did.
Mm.
There was a moment in it and Tracy didn't say bog off and I needed her to. I think it was when, all right, spoiler alert, when she was leaving the guy, or he was like banging on her door or something, and I needed her. I needed her to turn around and be like, just bog off! And she didn't. And I was like, we've missed an opportunity here. And I needed it. And I needed her kid to at least say it just like once, like to someone, not just in the context of reading about Tracy's life. But I thought that was clever as well, how they did that and how they got it in there that Tracy had written this book called The Story of Tracy Beaker. I thought it was quite clever. And also I started watching Tracy Beaker Returns again last night with my sister.
Oh, I loved that show.
It was great, but I completely forgot she wrote another book in that. It was called like Who Cares? It opens on Tracy Beaker's written this book called Who Cares, and used Cam's credit card to pay for 2,000 copies.
No, I do remember that
of this book, which I thought was funny because why didn't they just say that she'd written this book called The Story of Tracy Beaker? It would have made a lot more sense because they did it in this one. So, anywho, we're getting a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna. In fact, I think it's a good time here to do our disclaimer, because I keep getting quite far in and forgetting about it. But I think we need to do it. So here we are.
Yes.
Okay, forecast disclaimer. We are not professional casting directors. We are two Northern actors, writers, and creatives who would like to be cast in something, and as that is not currently happening, we have decided to cast and recast everything else. We want to make it clear that we are not the magic genie. We can bring back beloved actors from the dead, we can make them fall in love, and we have all the casting wishes that we like. Okay, so that's that done. Also, a little disclaimer for me is I'm going to be looking at my phone again, looking at the actors I've picked and stuff, because I had to make a list. It's very important, this stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to write it down. So yeah, I asked Instagram about this. I did my polls again. If you've seen them, thanks for taking part in them. First of all, I asked people if they watched My Mum Tracy Beaker. Quite a lot of people had, and it tended to be the people that had watched it growing up, obviously, but quite a few of them stopped after The Story of Tracy Beaker which ended in like 2006, which is obviously the original story.
I was gonna say, when did Tracy Beaker Returns come out? Because I think I was like
I feel like it was like 2010.
Yeah, so I would have been 10, 11-ish. Because I remember watching the first, at least when Lily fell off the roof, I remember that. And then I stopped watching, I think.
Do you know, I started watching that, and like one of the main storylines is Lily and her sisters. And knowing what happens further down, it just makes me so sad. And if you haven't watched it already, I mean, I recommend you do, because it is a great show. And I mean, I'll touch a little bit on it throughout this because I just couldn't help but cast one of them as an aged up version. So we'll find out about that. But let me just check when that was, because the story of Tracy Beaker was 2002 to 2006.
Yeah.
So I would have been 5 when it came out, and then older, 9 when it ended. But I feel like I watched it later than that.
I was going to say, because I would have been 3 when it came out, so I would have probably just watched reruns.
It was rerun quite a lot, though, wasn't it, on CBBC?
It was like the only show on CBBC.
Yeah. So there was that one, and then obviously Tracy Beaker Returns. Let me just check that. Probably should have written this down beforehand. Tracy Beaker Returns was 2010, and it was only 2010.
Oh?
Yeah. Oh, but the Tracy Beaker, the movie of me, I forgot about this. I thought it was just part of the series. The film came out in 2004, so I reckon that was a bit of a reboot for it, and that probably got us, or a lot more people our age, interested in it.
So that was for My Mum Tracy Beaker of the olden days.
Yeah, I would say so. A good 17 years ago. That's scary. I don't like that. Yeah. And I would like to mention as well, one of my favourite things about My Mum Tracy Beaker, I wouldn't say my favourite thing, but a great thing about it was that it was the original mum.
Yeah.
That was in that film. And I think she was in a couple of episodes of Tracy Beaker, Story of Tracy Beaker as well. Yeah, I love that she was in it. I love that she was back for this, because even though it was a tiny part, it was still significant. Like she said, it was sort of like what is the word? It was coming. What's the word she used? Closure. It was closure on that character. And I think what was nice is quite a few characters did get closure within this like special. And also, the fact that a few of them came back or were recast to like be back was very nice. So yeah, Tracy Beaker Returns was 2010, and then it changed to the dumping ground when she left again, didn't it? And that's still going now, isn't it?
Is it? Because I remember, I think.
Yeah, it's still going.
I only watched the dumping ground when Tracy was in the dumping ground.
Okay, well, I carried on watching.
Is Mike still in it?
Mike left this last year.
Oh,
yeah.
Mike.
So he has been there since the beginning to last year, which I love. Same actor, same guy, and there was a lot of Mike stands on Instagram, which I loved. Everyone was like, "Yes, Mike," and I wanted to ask people like Mike or Duke, or
you can't ask Mike or Duke.
No,
you can't.
Exactly, I couldn't do it, and I love Duke. But I loved Mike so much. And I think watching him in the first episode of Tracy Beaker Returns with Tracy and everything was so lovely. And I would have loved him to have been in this one.
I know, I was surprised, like, for the wedding, it was only, spoiler alert, Peter, and Peter wasn't even Peter.
No, yeah, wasn't even the same actor, which was interesting for me. I thought it was a good likeness.
Yeah, I thought it was the original actor at first.
Yeah, but a lot of people didn't.
Yeah, I like how it became a head teacher though. That was like, so Peter.
Yeah, there was quite an iconic episode, wasn't there, of Tracy and Peter at school together? I'm sure there was. I feel like there was. I've got it in my mind. But either way, I think that's why they brought him back, and they could link that story.
Yeah.
And I probably should have researched this better, but do you know if football, like this episode that they're talking about, was real?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I remember there being, but to be fair, I tried Googling it as well. and I can find he's in a book. I'm sure, is this going to be like a whole mandala effect or whatever it is?
I feel like it might be.
Yeah.
But I sure, like, I know there was an episode where someone like kicked a football over the wall or something.
Yeah.
And she ended up like meeting him or something. I feel like it was there, but it was probably touched on more in the actual book.
Yeah.
Than it was in like the TV program. But I guess we'll have to do more research on that. Also, someone could tell us, because I mean, I love Tracy Beaker, but I'm not willing to go back and watch all of it again.
Oh, my lockdown's pretty shit. I'll probably will.
Have a gander, it'll be fun. But yeah, so I mean, again, I'm just gonna say again, I thought this was a great little thing to make, and I'm glad they did. And it brightened my day up anyway to watch it. The amount of times I saw some of the people being like, ee! Or like I saw Cam's storyline and I was like, oh, we know what's gonna happen here. I thought that was great. And what's interesting, I love the fact that she was still fostering as well.
Yeah, I really like
Tracy had obviously grown up and moved out and had her own daughter, but Cam was still fostering, which I thought was lovely to see. And was still a writer, which was very nice as well. I actually thought it was funny because obviously the original Tracy Beaker finished with Cam and a boyfriend.
Adopting Tracy. And get married, didn't they?
Did they get married?
Was it at a wedding where it was like, no, we're not going to foster you anymore. We're going to adopt you. And she's like, oh my God. It was a party.
Yeah, I think it was, I feel like it wasn't a wedding because in Tracy Beaker Returns,
we don't talk about Gary.
Yeah, we literally don't talk about Gary. So I think that was it was very easily dismissed, and they obviously didn't want that storyline for her.
Yeah.
Which I didn't agree with in the first one anyway. So I think it was nice to have that romantic ending, but it wasn't really very Cam, was it? So yeah, I thought it was great. Now, let's get on what we're meant to be doing.
Yes.
Recasting. Okay. I think let's just have a little interlude every time. Like, do.
Oh, also, I'm so glad they kept the theme tune.
Yes.
Or like updated it. Yeah.
Like a slow, nice version. I was like, oh yes, I know what this is. Make my world come true. I loved it. Very much so. It was just so many nice little things within that were just like, yes, I'm so glad that's there. Okay, so we're going to age up some of the kids from the first story of Tracy Beaker. And so let's just say like who we're going to do, because obviously we can't do all of them as much as I would love to. We just don't have the time. So we're going to look at Lol and Bouncer, the Wellards, Peter, Crash, Justine, Louise, and Tracy. I think there were some of the key characters in there, and I couldn't resist doing the Wellards as a recast.
Can I do an honourable shout out for Jackie though?
Yes.
I haven't recast it, but like, oh, Jackie.
If I did, just a little quick one off the top of my head, you get a bonus here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what is she called? You love her. Was in Doctor Who, ginger hair.
Karen Gillan. Ooh, that'd be a good one actually, yeah.
Okay, I'm just throwing it in there. We don't have to talk about it too much, but I think Jackie, maybe we should have, but I did like Jackie. She was great. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's start. Lol and Bouncer.
So, Lol I did a little deep dive to see what everyone was doing now as well.
Okay.
So, Lol was played by Kieran Joyce and Bouncer was played by Ben Hansen.
Uh-huh.
So, Ben Hansen, he's an estate agent, a personal trainer, which will be a recurring theme throughout this episode, but he is getting back into acting. And Kieran Joyce, which I found really interesting. He was in Les Mis as a kid and as an adult, and he's done the tour in the Palace, and I think he's still in it now. He did a staged concert. So yeah, I think he plays Jolly. I haven't seen Les Mis, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I have, and I don't particularly know that part, but that's really cool. That's right. That's so good to hear, because I didn't realize. I think when you look on IMDb and the picture hasn't changed from when they were in something as a child, you're like, oh, maybe this didn't do anything after that point, acting wise. But yeah, so when I was coming to Cassie's too, I found Lol very easy. I have one person for him, right? And I think visually, you know me, I love the aesthetics. I love it when they look exactly like the child version.
Okay.
So my Lol, Russell Tovey.
I do love Russell Tovey. Oh, that's a good one.
I think he looks exactly like what he would look like 20 years' time.
Well, for my Lol, I did this based on who I thought he was as a kid, and when I googled it
wasn't him.
No.
Who was it?
So I've gone for Lol, Devon Murray. So you don't know who that is?
No.
Seamus in Harry Potter.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought they were the same guy. They're not, but
no, I mean, I wouldn't think they were, but I can see why you thought that. No, okay, I get that. I just I don't agree with you, but I can see why you thought that. I think that's funny.
Russell Tovey wins that one.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. Ding ding ding.
Ding ding.
I like that. Okay, bouncer. I've got a couple for this.
Okay, I'll go first because I only have one, and it ties in with another Lol.
Okay.
Anton Deck.
I love that. Yes, no, I can see that.
Yeah, bouncer would be Anton, or would be Deck.
I think they very much have they had a very good chemistry. Obviously, they weren't real brothers, and I think I could have well believed that they were because they were just such a good pairing. So I get Anton Deck. I like that. Now, my bouncer, I went off sort of what he looks like now for one of them, and then what he looked like as a child for the other. And so my now is Josh Peck. I think that's what he's called.
Oh, yeah, from Drake and Josh.
From Drake and Josh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he looks quite a lot like that.
He does.
Yeah.
But...
yeah. Is it? Yeah. But then energy-wise and acting-wise, character-wise, I went for Shane Ritchie as quite an aged version of him.
Yeah, very aged up.
Yeah.
Dumping ground.
I've gone quite aged up for a lot of these, quite aged up. But I would also like to put in there, this is where my Tracy Beaker Returns casting comes in.
Oh.
Shane Ritchie, I thought was great for Bouncer, but Liam from Tracy Beaker Returns, Richard Whisker. Do you not think he would be aged up? Aged up would be Shane Ritchie.
I know he's like a cheeky champion. No. I'm sorry.
No.
They're just both Cockney.
Yeah, but I thought they had a really good. I think even facially, I could believe that was I could believe that it was Liam's dad within that world. And I can see you don't agree. That's fine. That's fine. We'll agree on something at some point. Okay. I mean, to be honest, I found Bouncer really hard. I think he was the last one that I cast within all this when I was sort of just going through it. But yeah, they were my two. Okay.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine.
Peter.
Okay. I've gone for two here.
Mm-hmm.
One's because I think he looks like him, and thought for characters I've gone. This one I firmly believe would be a very good Peter, and I've gone for my Hollywood Peter as well.
Okay.
So Hollywood Peter, Nicholas Hoult. And my actual Peter, Joshua Maguire.
What's that?
So basically, he was Ollie in Misfits, who was if anyone knows Misfits, the video game episode, and he got, spoiler alert, shot on the head. And he's in Lovesick as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's one of those you'll recognise if you see him.
Yeah, I know who you mean. I can see that.
Yeah.
I think
he plays very like nerdy.
Yeah, which I think this person would have to be to play Peter. Like I said, I think they got it pretty good for the remake. But I'll tell you mine, and we'll discuss. So I thought my Hollywood one, and literally just because he looks so similar to the child one for me, is Evan Peters.
Yeah, I can see that.
Got that curly hair going on, curly blonde hair. I think, I thought it was very similar.
Yeah.
And then my sort of same energy one was Matthew Bainton.
Yeah, I can I can just imagine Matt Bainton going, my nan says there's nothing better than a lovely cuppa. She's dead.
Oh, yeah. And I think he could have played it very well if they were going in that direction. But also, I tend to relate him so much to horrible histories.
I know.
That I struggle to sort of separate him from any historical character. But I think he's brilliant, and I think he could have played the part very well. But yeah, I liked your choosing as well, to be honest. I think there is I think there's an energy about him that is just, it could be quite easily done by a lot of, not easily done, but by a lot of actors that have that sort of
British nervous
nervous energy. Sorry, what were you saying?
Peter, which I thought he would have been, and he doesn't act anymore, but he works as a first AD.
Oh,
so I thought he would have like come back as like, because he's still in the industry, just behind us, and he was played by Joe Stars. And Jim English in the new one. No offense, Jim English, but fuck you.
I love the fact I love to hear that they're all still in industry in some way. I think that's great, because you do get a lot of kid actors or child actors that just don't act after that point. Which I think, fair enough, it's not what they were interested in past that point. And it's often, it's not easy to get parts, to be honest. So, and we're very different when we're kids to when we're older, I think, as well. I think it's an interesting one. I always wonder if I'd have quite liked to have been a child actor, in terms of I'd like to already be in industry right now, and had some parts. I'd loved for my parents to have shoved me into, more acting, but they were really good parents and they didn't make me do anything. They said, if you want to do it, you can do it, but you don't have to. So I didn't. The amount of things I started and never finished.
Oh my god.
Because they didn't make me. But yeah, I could have been a black belt in jiu-jitsu right now, but I'm only purple.
Have I told you the piano story?
I don't think so. Please tell us if you listened.
So when I was younger, my mum and dad decided to give me piano lessons, because we had a piano downstairs and I really liked playing it. So a few lessons in, got really bored, didn't want to do it. So we forced my older brother to carry on with the rest of the lessons we'd already paid for. And he got up to like grade 7 or something, because I gave up.
Nice. Well, at least he got something out of it, to be fair. I thought, on the similar lines to that, I did French at primary school every Monday dinner time that my mum and dad paid for 7 years. And then I got to secondary school and we were doing Spanish instead. And then the year after I left primary school, they put it on the curriculum, so they wouldn't have even had to pay for it or sent me to it every Monday lunchtime after that point. So that was a lot of fun. I thought it was hilarious because I went to an open day at the secondary school and they were like, so what we do here is we do Spanish one year and then French one year. So it depends on what year you join us to which one you'll be doing. And this year it'll be Spanish. And I was like, you're joking. I didn't carry that on after I had to. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. A little bit of a kick in the stomach for my parents because I don't know any French. But it was a fun 7 years.
Oh my god. Can you speak French now, or is it
Literally nothing? I mean, bonjour. Oh,
bonjour?
je m'appelle Maisie. I know that much. But yeah, nothing. I don't take language. I can't. I find I really struggle to learn languages.
Same.
And then the fact that like French was all you had to do les and le and la and like change all that. It was just so confusing for me. And then I only did it for an hour every Monday. So it wasn't really like, it's like driving lessons. I never completed any of that because it was once a week and then I'd do nothing for the rest of the week and then once a week. And I probably should have practiced around that. That's not the point. It's my own fault.
Oh, my school was, sorry, quick sidetrack. My school was a language school, which means we had to do. So in year 7, we do 3 languages. Yeah, 3 languages. So
Jeez.
I know. So I started the year doing Mandarin, Spanish, and German. And then because I dropped Mandarin because my parents were like, this girl, she didn't speak English until she was 2. She didn't speak until she was 2. She's not going to learn Mandarin. So I dropped the Mandarin and did homework instead. Then for next year, did I drop Spanish in year 8 or year 9? I don't know. But then I dropped Spanish year 8, year 9. And then year 10, I dropped German. I dropped other subjects along the way as well. I dropped history, RE. 5 subjects.
Fun.
And that's not including the compulsory, you have to drop this so you can do GCSEs. I had a reduced curriculum.
Fun.
Because I am.
Oh, for the listeners, Beth's pointing ahead. Take from that what you will. Whereas my mum kept telling me to add more sciences to what I was doing, and still is convinced that I should go into science because I'll get 1 question right on university challenge every so often. I did triple science, so I did all 3 of them, and then I did astronomy as well for a little bit.
Yeah, it
was an extra option. I learned like a couple of things over 1 month and then quit because I was like, Mum, I'm already struggling with all these sciences. I don't need another one. Okay, so the Wellards, iconic characters. I loved them in the show. I found out who Maroon 5 was through them. Great characters. And I'm going to let you tell us about where they are now.
Okay. So Chantal Wellard was played by Deepal Palmer. She's still acting, does a lot of short films. And she worked with Crash, who I will reveal later on what he's doing now. But she's worked with Crash on a short film, which is
nice.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Roxy Wellard, played by Sophie Borger-Edwards. She's still acting, but I think she's in a similar position, doing a lot of shorts. And all I could find is she's a vegan.
Nice.
And yeah. Very in character. Rio Wellard is played by Craig Roberts, and he's a very successful actor, writer, and director. He was in and Being Human, which is a show I fucking adore.
I knew he was still acting, so I looked him up a little bit, and I was like, I remembered he was in Bad Neighbours as well, which I think was so random for him to be in. But yeah,
also,
it was great that
I'm technically in a film with him. He was in Tolkien, and I'm a professional actor who does supporting artist on the side.
Amazing.
And that was my first supporting artist role. Well, not
that's cool
or anything, but were in the same film.
That's great. I love it. You've got a link to Tracy Beaker there. I'm going to allow it. Okay, so should we start with Chantel?
Yes.
And who would you cast there? Go for it. Who would you cast?
Honestly, I found this quite hard because we don't have a lot of diverse actors in the UK. We don't have a lot of, well, we do, sorry, but they're not given the opportunity. Yeah. So, but to be fair with this one, I feel like a fairly good cast. I'm a big fan of her. She used to be in Hollyoaks, is now on Doctor Who. Mandip Gill.
I need to look at that is.
Yeah. She plays sort of like not punky characters, but I feel like general vibes.
Who did you say, sorry?
Mandip Gill.
I thought you did.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But yeah, we need a bit more Indian representation on our screen.
Yeah, I completely agree. I found this one quite hard to recast as well. I mean, if she's still acting, get her back for it.
Yeah.
If anything. I feel like I've aged up a lot of my characters a lot more than you have. Which, I mean, is great. But it means we sort of have a middle ground, and then we have what they would be like if they're a lot older. But I said Nina Wadia, who is in
Zainab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I also
Again,
thought,
very aged up, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I've been doing for all of this, so it's fine. We have like middle ones for you, and then what they would be like if they were a lot older. But I thought she was a good likeness for her. And also, I mean, I thought in terms of the same energy, the same sort of characters that she played, I thought maybe Zor Ashton as well.
Yeah.
Fresh meat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she would be a good, like, sort of older version of her, of the character she played. Yeah. Okay, so that's Chantel. Should we do Roxy next?
Yeah, Roxy. I've got 3 for Roxy.
Okay.
And 2 of them are from Love Island.
Okay.
So,
I'm definitely gonna have to Google these ones.
Yeah. The first one, Georgia from Love Island, general vibe. Second one, Amber Davies from Love Island, who is actually an actor. I think she's still on 9 to 5 at the moment.
Oh. Okay, I'm looking at Georgia. I can see that. I think they look similar. I think they do look similar.
She looks a bit of Amber from Love Island. And the final one, Kaya Scodelario, Effie from Skins. They're like,
yeah.
Effie, Roxy, same.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that one. I think that one's the one I like out of the 3 you gave there. I think they do. I think I can imagine that character going on to be that character.
Yeah.
Like in similar worlds, if they exist in the same universe, sort of thing. No, I like that. So mine again, a little bit older than that. And I could probably like say that, you know, this person goes on to be this person then. But Felicity Jones.
Oh, know the name.
You do know her. You know her. She is
Theory of Everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think visually they look really quite similar. And she is like the adult version of her, I felt.
Okay.
I love this. For the whole first episode, we agreed on everything. Yeah. And now this one, you're just like, no.
Sure. No.
That's fine. But I'm gonna keep it. No, but I really like the Skins one, the Effie one. I think they could quite easily exist in the same universe as the same person.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can agree on that one.
Thank you.
Okay. Rio.
I was so tempted to just cast Craig Roberts again because I think he's brilliant. But I haven't. I have gone for another Welsh actor though.
Oh.
And I might get his last name wrong, so I'm sorry if I do. But I'm a huge fan of this actor. Iwan Rheon. He's in Misfits, Game of Thrones, I just love him. I think
I actually came across him whilst I was putting my list on. I can see that.
Yeah.
My one, two people I thought had similar energy to the character, and again, a lot older, but like if this person was an adult and he sort of grew up to be like these people. I've got two. James McAvoy is one, and Daniel Radcliffe is another.
I prefer James McAvoy. But yeah, because I love James McAvoy. I love Daniel Radcliffe as well, but James McAvoy, I love you. I love you.
I think he could play, like visually, he could play an older version. Of him.
And same like Mad. I haven't seen this film, but what I have seen of this film, I can imagine a similar vibe. Filth?
Yeah. I think I've watched Filth. I think it's one of those I've watched late at night when it's just happened to be on.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen like the poster, but I can imagine that being Rio when he's older.
Yeah, no, I think James McAvoy is a good one there, but I would agree with you on the other one. So that's the Wellards. Very good by me. And some good choices by you as well. I really like the Effie one. I'll be honest. Although I've never watched Skins.
I mean, it's like looking back on it, it wasn't brilliant, but it was at the same time.
I think I saw something recently about it, and it was a lot of firsts for representation on TV for teens and stuff, which I think was what was great about the show. But I think I don't think I was watching stuff like that at that age.
I watched it a lot later. I watched it like, I think I watched it as it was ending. Yeah.
I think I was the same with like Misfits. I watched the last season for some reason because that's around the age I was right to be watching it, I think. But also I was just obsessed with stuff like Bones and CSI at that age, I think. So I didn't really watch much else. I tend to watch one thing for a lot, and that's about it. But yeah, I can see that one. Okay, so let's move on to Crash. So we've already mentioned him slightly already. I was very excited when I searched him up to see what he was doing now. So I'll let you talk about him.
So Crash was played by Darren Morto, and he's now a writer and director who has worked with Chantal Deepal Palmer on the short film. Yeah.
Nice. I think that's great to see. I mean, obviously when I went on his IMDb, there was like a picture of him directing. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But yeah, I thought it was a great character when he was in the story of Tracy Beaker. And it was so cool to see that he's still in industry. Again, I just love seeing that they're all still in industry in some way or another, because I think very much like a lot of people that went to sort of uni with us, you go in thinking you just want to act or just do stand-up or just whatever, and you come out being like, oh, actually I'd quite like to do this directing, or I'd quite like to write, or I'd quite like to, do editing and stuff like that. And so many people have. So it's cool to see that they sort of grew up in the industry and then went on to do various things within it that isn't just acting. I think it's cool. Yeah, so who would you cast?
I was debating these two all the way up until like this very moment as I'm looking at my list. Okay. But I think, so for runner up, I've gone for Jacob Anderson, who is Raleigh Ritchie, a musical guy. He's in Game of Thrones, and he's done like a few bits and bobs.
What was his name again? Sorry.
Raleigh Ritchie is probably the one you're going to get the most search results for.
Okay. Yeah, I can't find him.
His music's very good. He's like, I mean it. You'll never be defeated. I don't know several words, but like.
Okay, yeah, I can see him now. I
Great
see
one.
that.
That's it.
I see that. Aesthetically pleasing. In terms of looking like him.
Yeah. For one I have gone for, my number one is Ben Bailey Smith, who is otherwise known as Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good choice there.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he was into sort of was he into beatboxing and stuff?
Yeah, he was
Make
like,
yeah. And so is Doc Brown. No, that's good casting there.
Thank you.
I'm a fan of that one. I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Because the only one that I really had for that character was the Duke from Bridgerton. I think he looks very similar to him. And the Duke, whew, I just need more of the Duke on my screen. Yeah.
The Duke. Wait, what?
Yeah. Duke squared. No, but I really like Doc Brown for that character. I think that's really good. Yeah. I want the Duke there, but I agree with Doc Brown. I think he would have played the character very well. Also links with Bridgerton, the mum from Story of Tracy Beaker and My Mum's Tracy Beaker is in Bridgerton. And I was very happy with myself when I realised who she was. I was like, I know this person. Why do I know her? Oh, I've just watched her in all of Bridgerton because I binge watched it. That's amazing. Yeah, I love little links like that. It's not as good as our Nicole Kidman and Ruth Wilson link last time.
I've already forgotten it.
She played the same character in Golden Compass and I love that every time you remember that it's the same reaction. It's yes, I remember. But yeah, no, I'm gonna take Doc Brown for that part. I like it.
Thank you.
I'm recasting it now for if they're listening, that's who we want. Doc Brown is the next crash.
You're very nice in your that character is better. I'm like, yeah.
I know. I think mainly because a lot of the ones I've picked this time, I really struggled to recast. Especially seeing people like Justine and Tracy come back as their older characters because they're that age now, which is scary to think about, but they can just come back as themselves, which I think is great. So the three gals, I think the main three gals, Louise, Justine and Tracy. We're moving on to them now. Let's start with Louise. Tell me where she is, Beth.
So Louise is a fitness Instagrammer and personal trainer, and she was played by Chelsea Padley.
I did actually see her, like, find her Instagram and stuff, because obviously, as much as you can look at IMDb, it does help to look at their Instagram to see what they're actually doing. And I think it was really cool to see her and Bouncer have been working out together and stuff and spending time together. They still talk about being friends and things. Obviously, this was pre-lockdown. I think I actually looked it up. I looked a lot of them up when it was announced that this new thing of Tracy Beaker was coming out. And obviously saw what they're up to at that point, which was like obviously pre-lockdown and everything like that. So yeah, I think it was cool to see what she was up to. Let's talk about who we'd cast as an older version of her.
I found this quite hard, but I've gone for like a general vibe rather than a look. Georgie Porter, who plays Teresa McQueen on Hollyoaks, and she's done Dancing on Ice and I'm a Celeb and all that.
Yeah, she came up on one of my lists. I didn't go with her in the end, but yeah, I can see that. I get the vibe you're going for there. A couple suggestions I went for that. One's a Hollywood one, one's a closer to home one. Amanda Seyfried, I think, has a Louise vibe. Lauren Aikman.
Is she for bitch in Gavin and Stacey?
Yeah.
Not for bitch, but like not Nessa.
Not Nessa, basically. Okay, so my aged up version of Louise, Sarah Hadland.
Yeah, I like that, especially if Laura Aikman. You are correct there. I give you that.
Finally. I'm allowed to.
I approve.
Okay, yeah. So yes, she would be my aged up version of her. But again, I'm quite happy with Amanda Seyfried as the Hollywood version. But yeah, I can see yours as well. But I prefer Sarah Hadland. If they did like a really like far in the future, it's like my grandmother's Tracy Beaker. That's who it is. Okay. Justine. I think this is an important one.
Yeah.
I love the fact, like I said, that she was back for My Mum Tracy Beaker. Again, pretty iconic character.
Very iconic.
To replace. So, who are you casting?
I found this really hard, and I've gone for like a general vibe rather than a look. Even though this person does act as well. Rita Ora. Because a lot of people don't like her for like, and to be honest, I'm not a massive fan anymore after the whole lockdown situation she did. But
yeah, I can see what you're going for.
Yeah, it's not the best, but general vibe. Yeah,
but yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you there.
If that's okay.
She's not Justine for me.
Yeah.
And
Who
again,
is Justine for you?
Mine is aged up quite a bit. Okay, I think you're gonna like this one though.
Okay.
Sian Clifford.
Sian Clifford's not old.
No, but it's aged up more than you're doing. I don't think she's old. I just think she'd be good for the character.
I see it and I don't. Like, looks-wise, yeah. But also, Sian Clifford is just... I've seen her in other things and she's brilliant, but she's always just Claire from Fleabag, just poshing. And like bitchy, but not in like a mean way. Like Justine.
Yeah. Do you know who could maybe play it better? It's now that I'm thinking about it. So I still like Sian Clifford for this part, but what's she called? And you like her a lot. She was in that show with Russell Tovey, him and her. Sarah
Soleimani.
Yeah. I think she could play her as well. Because I've not seen her massively play like a bitchy character. But again, at the end of Story of Tracy Beaker, we're sort of brought round to like her quite a bit.
Yeah.
I would say. And at the end of, obviously, at the end of My Mum Tracy Beaker, we are. So.
Sorry, can I just say, I can't believe they made a love triangle with. They made Justine for other women, and it's so perfect.
It is, but I hate it at the same time. Like, it had to happen, but I hate that it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had to be in it. And of course she sells beauty products. Of course she's definitely part of a pyramid scheme. But it was, yeah. So what's she up to now? I'm assuming you researched her too.
Yeah, still acting and has a baby son.
Oh,
yeah,
that's lovely to hear. Yeah, I love that she's still acting. I thought she was good in this.
Yeah.
I thought what was good about her is she was so much like Justine, young Justine.
Yeah.
But adult version. I love that you could tell she was the adult version. I can't explain it better, but
she was a lot of character growth.
Yeah.
With a strong root.
Yes.
Someone's done their Stanislavski homework.
Okay. We're on to the big one. Tracy. Did you do any research on Tracy? On just Danny Harmer?
She's been pretty quiet. That's a lie. She has not. She has been on Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh, yeah.
And she set up a stage school and has a baby girl.
Yeah, fun fact. Her mum follows me on Twitter.
Oh.
Just a random fact. I think she helps run most of the stage school, and she followed me ages ago, like before I even started using Twitter properly, which I thought was.
Was this like when your Twitter, before you got locked out of your Twitter for a million years?
Yeah. That was ridiculous. I changed my age so it was the right age to 20. I think it was to 21, and obviously you're allowed Twitter at that age, but it took them 3 years to give it me back, or 2 years to give it me back. Anywho, I have it now. I barely use it, but it's there. Okay, so I would like to say first, I think this character is pretty unrecastable.
Yeah, I had a really hard time.
She is iconic, is Dani Harmer, and the very fact that she's played her since 2002 to now is just sort of a testament to that fact. I have got someone who I think would be a very good like aged up version. Like if you were watching it and they had to flash forward instead of putting loads of aging makeup on or whatever, I would make this person an old version of a flash forward version of her.
Into dumping ground nursing home.
Maybe not in the nursing home. I don't think that this actress would appreciate that. But yeah, I found it very hard to replace Dani Harmer. It's just, yeah. What about you?
I've gone a bit younger than nursing home. So, and this is not looks at all, it's vibe, because Tracy Beaker has hair straighteners. She can sometimes straighten her hair or do curls. I've gone Jessica Barden, who is Alyssa on The End of the Fucking World.
I don't know who that is. Hold on.
Really? Yeah, you'll recognise her if you see her. But I think general vibe, Jessica Barden.
Jessica Barden.
Even though she's like, she looks about 16, but she's like 30 or something as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
maybe not 30, but yeah.
I see the vibe there. I wouldn't cast her personally, but I can see the vibe there.
You can imagine her saying bog off.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, my one, my flash forward aged up Tracy is Jessie Wallace.
Cat off EastEnders?
Yeah.
To be fair, you're not wrong.
Yeah, when Tracy straightens her hair, that's Cat Slater.
Can I add another one to mine? Now I've just thought of it. Younger than Cat, Stacey.
Yeah, I did think of her as well.
Stacey Turner, yeah.
I was like, if they're gonna replace her, probably the actor I'd go with. But the aged up version Cat, yeah. I think that's a pretty. I mean, I wouldn't replace her, but if I had to, that's where we'd go. Okay, so I'll be honest, I've not massively thought about this one, but if you had to cast it Muppets wise, let's off the cuff here, go for it. Have you got any ideas?
I have got ideas, and I've gone for it because I was considering Tracy being the only human until Tracy Beaker, played by Beaker.
Does that mean that Dr. What's he called is Dr. Honeydew is Cam?
Well, yes, I did not cast it that way. I did not cast Cam, but yeah, Dr. Honeydew would be Cam.
Okay.
So the human in my situation is Justine.
Oh.
Louise is Kermit. Crash is Gonzo.
Yeah.
Peter has Scooter.
Yeah.
The Wellards has like the general band with Rio being Animal.
Yeah.
Lol and Bouncer for 2. I remember them old men.
Remember them old men. I love that. Yeah.
And Tracy's mum is Miss Piggy.
Ooh. Yeah. That does kind of put Tracy's mum and Louise together. So I don't know. Do you know what though? I kind of wanted to keep Mike as the human.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
But also, I kind of wanted Mike to be Kermit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really struggled on this one. I think Mike would have to stay human for me, especially with the fact that he, apart from Tracy, has been on it the longest.
Yeah.
For one. So yeah. Do you know what? Actually, okay. All right. Mike Human, Tracy, Miss Piggy, Peter, Kermit.
I was considering putting Peter as Kermit or Walter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing with keeping with Miss Piggy as Tracy and Peter as Kermit, spoiler alert, that works very nicely for My Mum's Tracy Beaker.
Yeah, it does.
I still love that Beaker's playing Beaker though. So, yeah. I would like pretty much any of those scenarios. I love the Wellards as the band. I think that works out great. And I would agree that Lol and Bouncer should be. Or, Lol and Bouncer, Rizzo and Gonzo.
I did consider that very briefly, but
they've got that pairing energy again.
Yeah.
But so do Justine and Louise.
I know they're very,
But I don't know if Gonzo can be mean enough. I don't know. But yeah, I think the one that we can agree on is the Wellards of the band.
Yeah.
So let's just go for that. Okay, that's all of them. So yeah, I think we've cast very nicely there. We didn't agree on very much throughout that, and I obviously aged up quite a lot compared to you. But I think we had some good choices in there. And I think we could probably agree that most of the cast, seems are still acting, could probably come back and play their parts anyway.
Yeah. Oh my God, if they can all be behind the scenes, like Crash could be a director and Peter could be a first 18. Yeah.
If they don't come back as like a dumping ground survival guides type thing, and Crash is like filming it, and everyone's in it and whatever, like you said, I think that'd be great. And they should
breaking out for nursing home.
Yes. No, I think that's really good. Well, it's been lovely chatting about Tracy Beaker. If you haven't watched My Mum Tracy Beaker, go and watch it for that little nostalgia kick. And then go and watch the rest of them, because why not? What else are you doing over lockdown? Right, lovely chatting to you, Beth. And thanks for listening or watching.
Bye. I can make a come true. I will go.
Dreams to see me through.